everybody, my name is Samantha.
Hi, and I'm EJ.
And we're here to tell you about a game we got at Gen Con this year that we absolutely love. It's not something you expect generally at Gen Con, but it was a lot of fun, and we've tried to pass it on to friends, and so we're going to tell you about it, and how to play it, and why we love it.
Yep. And the game is called Marital Bliss. Yay!
If you didn't guess, we're married.
Yep, we are married.
Okay, anyhow.
Anyways, so I actually had the lucky volunteer capability to go volunteer for a thing called Extra Life, and the booth across from us was this game. And I thought that was really kind of neat because since we're married, we kind of wanted to come up with a fun game that had to do with us being married. Because sometimes, you know, your everyday married life is, well, it's fun still, but sometimes you need something to spice it up, and, well, you don't need dirty, raunchy games to spice things up. So.
A lot of the things you find either online or in like a card or, you know, actual game format are either just inappropriate, where you're uncomfortable or way too cheesy. And that's one thing we love about this game is that it's not any of those.
And it's also fun because I'm a competitive kind of person, and I think it kind of adds to my competitive nature because we're competing for a goal in mind. There's a reward point card at the end of a given week. Basically, I'll go ahead and explain the game. What you do is you end up drawing reward cards, and the reward cards end up ranging from, what we have here is like our free time card that says, hey, reward yourself if you win, and you get 4 hours to do whatever you want, basically. Or, I actually won this one. Me and Sam are tied. We played 2 weeks. This is our third week. Sam won the first week. I won the second week. And mine is, your wish is my command. And it says, one free wish. Spouse must obey the best of his or her ability. So it's actually kind of neat because I can keep this card and claim it whenever I want. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other things in here like you must participate in a hobby or activity that you wouldn't normally do, or even something as simple as, make a batch of cookies for your spouse. That's the reward, or have your spouse make it. Something along those lines. That's really kind of fun. So
yeah, they're thoughtful rewards that are also like different and just kind of switch things up, and it's fun to see. You get to pick. So when you start each week, you decide like what day you start on, obviously, and all that.
Ours is Thursday.
We start on Thursday nights. We sit down.
Gen Con started on Thursday. Yeah. I brought it home, introduced it the first night I got back, and I was excited.
Yeah.
So
each round starts at the same day of the week. So like on Thursdays for us, we sit down together. We draw our 5 reward cards.
5 reward cards.
You draw 5 reward cards and 7 mission cards.
Yep.
Correct?
So, and here are some mission cards basically that we have. So. And each one has a point value associated with it. So, for example, here's a mission here that mentions, just, hey, dance together, And, I mean, some of the titles on these are hilarious, too. And that one was, like, 7 points, so it's a high-value card. And then you have, like, I got an itch, and it says, scratch your spouse's back before going to sleep. And it's actually, something small like this is really kind of fun to be able to do. I mean, there are some cards in here that made me do things I don't normally do, or I quit doing, because we're married. We've been married for 4 years and dated for 6 years, and sometimes I just forget to do some chivalrous things. Like, for example, this one's just hold the door open for your spouse to a building. It's 3 points. It's something small, but it adds towards my point total value. Start the day with a hug. These are some cards that I've had during times in my hand, and some of them are just really, really kind of funny. For example, there's one that Samantha got, and you can guess what your spouse has during a given week, and you can actually make them lose those points.
For example, if I was doing the hug one we talked about, where you start the day with a hug, then you start it, back up. Where, if I go and do that and EJ notices, he can call that as like, hey, was that one of your missions? And if he's right, then I have to discard that card, and I don't get the points for doing it, even though it's still appreciated that I did it.
But if I guess wrong, then I lose a point towards my total. So I could guess 5 times in a week, like, that's a card, hey, you made me dinner, that's a card. But that's, if I If it wasn't a card of hers, that's negative 5 points. So it hurts me if I'm guessing items that Samantha didn't do. But there's two things, like, to me that really kind of make me laugh, because there was one that Sam had that said, put your spouse's towel in a dryer so it'll be nice and warm when he or she gets out of the shower. I read this card before, because before you get the game, you want to read and see what you have. And I got out of the shower, and I was like, this towel is really warm. And I was like, oh, hey, Sam.
I tried to be sneaky.
It's a card. And even though it's a game, I'll say this. This is one of the things that really kind of made the game kind of, I guess, impactful. Because I was at work earlier this week, and kind of rough at work, a little bit there, but Samantha ended up getting a card that said, send your spouse an email and say something nice. And Sam tends to, every once in a while, say something nice. And
every once in a while.
More than every once in a while. But she typically sends me something encouraging, but it was a really decently long, encouraging post on Google Hangouts, so she didn't send an email, and we talked about that. It would have been fine if we had let her count it against the points. I guessed it. But even though I guessed it, it meant a whole lot that she sent that to me. It made my day so much better. And sometimes you can just be goofy with it. Like, I did a whole bunch of things to try to throw Samantha off. Like, I ended up trying to unload the dishwasher and just goof around. So I'm going to make you dinner, I'm going to make you cookies, or I'm going to get this or do that. One of the cards is actually to prepare your spouse's toothbrush for him or her. Man. And it's, if you pull this off this mission, you're a wizard. I guess I'm a wizard because I kept joking around. I was like, let me prepare your toothbrush, because we read it, and she's like, no.
I was like, don't touch my
And I kept trying to throw her off on multiple things here. I was like, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this card, I'll do this card. Just to try to get Sam to guess, and jokingly, I just left the toothbrush on the counter with the toothpaste on it, because it was towards the end of the night. She ended up using it. So, I win. So
I did get that one. The funny one that that we did this week was I completed accidentally one of his missions, and I didn't even know it. So, like, one of them, where is it? The one that's the dancing card, which also I'll explain brownie points too, because we haven't talked about that yet. But so, like, dance with your spouse was his mission that he got. This was like the day after we picked our new cards for the round. Mm-hmm. And so I was just in a really good mood, and so we had music playing or whatever while we were doing stuff with the kids and cleaning up the house. And so I go over and just start singing, being goofy and like half dancing, and he's just cracking up laughing. And I have no idea why it's so funny, because I'm a goofball in general. So so then later, like yesterday when we did our new round and went through all the counting our points and all that, he was like, you totally did this. And I was like, I don't remember you dancing or whatever. And he was like, no, you dance. And so it was kind of great, because
she initiated my card for me, which made me laugh. I wanted to tell her at that point, but then she could have been like, that's your card. And then, that's no longer
that. So we decided if the other person does your card for you, it still counts.
Mm-hmm. So, to basically round this out a little bit more, is that you draw your 7 cards. Like, we gave some examples. And when you do them, you don't tell your spouse, obviously. So you wait, and on Thursday night, we end up getting back together and say, hey, let's go ahead and reveal our cards. So then from there, you can have the ability to argue your point for your card. Because they're, like, for example, the dancing together card, Sam's like, no, that shouldn't count. I danced. I initiated. Just like, well, the card clearly says, dance together.
It says dance together. It does not say dance with your spouse, which implies more of like him initiating. So,
so that's the thing. Is like, so I kind of got to argue my point here. And remember, it's fun, because I know for certain people they kind of want this to be a competition, and I'm going to win, and no matter what, I'm right on this card. It's fun, guys, and it's supposed to build your relationship with your marriage, but you add your points together for everything that you were able to do. If you do draw cards, this is one thing we left out as well. Yeah. And you can draw 7 cards, but you can discard, before the week starts, what you feel like you can't play. Because there are some really hard cards on here to pull off without letting...
without letting on that it is a card. You have to be a little more sneaky with it.
For example, me and Sam aren't morning people. We have a card in here that says, wake up together and watch the sunrise. No.
I'm not getting up any earlier than my toddlers.
Yeah, we're not getting up at 6 a.m. to watch the sunrise. I'm not. I'm sleeping. So
letting me sleep is more loving to me than watching the sunrise. So
it's 7 points is a great card, but I know at the end of the week, if I don't do that action, I lose those points. Mm-hmm. So I guess we could try to do it, and Sam could guess it, but at that point, it's worth 0 points to me. It doesn't count against me. But I don't get the points for it. But
so it's a risk whether or not you decide to keep all your cards and then potentially have them, go against your point total, or to discard ones to really focus on the ones you can accomplish. So the other thing I talked about was brownie points. Some of the cards have like brownie point little parts at the bottom that have like an extra point that you can gain along with cards. Like with the dancing card, it was 7 points if you dance together at all. But then the brownie point for the extra point is to dance in public. So those are kind of fun just to add that extra oomph into what you're doing. The other thing I thought of too that really was interesting in playing this for 2 weeks now was that there was a complete like mind shift, a paradigm shift almost in you have to complete these 5 to 7 missions throughout the week for your spouse. But I found myself, I don't know about you, but like I found myself finding other ways to do, like create my own missions almost. Like I was more mindful of doing things other than my card, just because those cards gave me that reminder that, oh yeah, like this isn't just... 3-year slump style marriage. Like you're trying to engage and serve your spouse in a different way. So yeah.
So I think we really love this game. I mean, it's really worth it. I bought 2 copies at the deal for Gen Con for $20. It's just a regular box. 1 copy was I think $12. It was well worth it, but, I bought that extra copy because I knew that we might have friends that might be interested in this game. If we liked it, we wanted to be able to pass it along. So this is something that we're going to pass along to our friends or even, technically my
parents or
in-laws,
sisters, whatever.
Anyone. It's really kind of a fun game to really engage with and be able to do something.
The other thing, too, is that when you pass those along... that's helping someone else's marriage. So that's kind of rewarding in itself, is to, be able to encourage our friends and stuff in their marriage. The other thing, too, for me, is that as a stay-at-home mom, things can kind of drone on when you don't have, a set, due dates and that kind of stuff that you have to do in, a normal work environment. So it's really cool to have something that I can focus on, in and out through my day and look forward to something. So, not only am I looking forward to being able to do these things and having that little rush of finding a secret way to give him a towel that's warm or whatever, or, but also the anticipation of, okay, I know that he also is on a mission. So not that I'm expecting those things, but knowing that we're going to connect, not feeling like things are going to dry out or whatever, and then also having to look forward to that Thursday night when we get together and spend that time together, even though it's not hours upon hours of us, talking or whatever. It's still really meaningful quality time that's focused around something we're doing together, which makes a huge difference. Yeah.
And there are times, because I work a 47, 48, sometimes 50-hour work week, this game actually makes me think about my spouse during those times at work or when I come home, instead of just checking out. Sometimes I sit there oh yeah, I have card missions to do. Oh yeah, my wife is doing card missions. Wonder what she has. Things like that. So it's just a neat little reminder. I'll say this, it isn't going to fix a broken marriage. No. But it's definitely going to help usher in some fun in a marriage that either A, you're having a great time with already, have more fun, or B, things are a little bit dry. So let's go ahead and do this. we're not offering advice as, hey, this is going to fix your issues, but
yeah, it's definitely a step in the right direction, though. If you guys are struggling in your relationship or just whatever struggles you're overcoming together, this is a great way to reconnect and start on the right foot. That's for sure. So, and I want to challenge you guys that if you go to their website, you can order from their website and get more information. It's maritalblissgame.com. And if you buy a box for your friend, or at least one, so you can pass it on, because like we said, it really is a game for every married couple, and I think everyone will enjoy it, regardless of age, regardless of interests, even if you're not a big gamer or whatever. It's still something engaging. It's still a lot of fun for just about everybody, I think. So, yeah, if you want more information, maritalblissgame.com. So,
yep.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.